Dude, the thing you got to understand about life, man. Right, there's a couple different types of people that make up the fucking world we live in, right? You would be shocked by the percentage of people who are attempting to maintain the status quo and will literally rip off their fingernails trying to cling on to everything they know as opposed to any sort of change in their life. I would say it's probably like 90, 80, 90% of people are like that. And then you have people, and that's kind of what society, that's what a population is you got this big chunk of people who are doing everything they can to keep things how they are. Maybe there's a little bit of adjustment, playing with the clay, forming it up a little bit, but it's not, it's foundationally those people want their lives to stay the same. Then you got 10% of the other 10% of the people. Okay. Now these people are out here intentionally or not, attempting to change the way that things are. For whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It's a massive amount of people. And they are working to change the way that things are for personal benefit. Maybe it's a grand societal vision. Maybe it's a vendetta. Who cares? There are 8 or 9 out of 10 people are trying to keep things the same. 1 out of 10 are trying to keep things, are actively trying to change things in their own way. I'm not saying that everyone's fucking Elon Musk, or whatever. But I think it's interesting to understand people by putting them into one of those categories because everyone is in one of those categories. There's only 2 categories. Most people are going to be in the former. And they just want to go home tonight and do everything that they've been and have the fucking nice dinner and the glass of wine and watch the TV show and go to bed and get up on Saturday and go to the Home Depot and get the landscaping supplies and do a little work and have a little beer on the patio after fucking the work is done, and then have a big dinner on Saturday, wake up Sunday, maybe they go to church, maybe they don't. And then Monday through Friday, kids go to school, soccer practice, PTA, the Boy Scouts, and then the weekend again. And those people 9 out of 10 people want that to continue until they die. Now, I think a lot of those people are, what would you say, somewhat unaware of the greater world. I don't know if they would actively say, I'm trying to keep things how they are. I think that's just what the momentum of their life. And then the other guy out of every 10 people, and then there's 9 people doing that. Then there's the other guy. And he ain't a part of that. And he ain't happy. And he ain't doing well. And there's something wrong with that guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but there's something wrong where he doesn't want things to stay the same. And you got to understand, we need both of those fucking things, man. We need people who are forming a coalescence of stability and continuity and congruence in this center of society. I was doing century with the British spelling, CENTRE. So it's funny. But the point is, those people are doing what they are doing. And then everybody else, the other 10% are going around the edges and spinning things forward. And it's like if we didn't have the people in the middle keeping everything, trying to keep everything in stasis, everything in how it is, and we wouldn't have anything, and everything would just be every which way. And if we didn't have the people trying to change things, then everything would inevitably crumble and die. So it's that balance of status quo and novelty and the tension, the push and the pull between the two. And I really believe that there are only two type of people in that regard. I do not think there's anyone in the middle. I don't think so. I think you either want things to stay the same and be how they are, or you want things to change desperately. And I just think it's useful to look at someone and understand, okay, this person's one of the 10%, or this person's one of the 90%. The 90% aren't going to act like the 10%. They're not going to understand at all. That's the other thing about these two groups. They don't understand each other at all. They have no ability to even, the communication is fairly limited in its ability to actually have any impact as far as passing ideas back and forth, because the outlook on life is just so disparate. There's such a chasm between these two types of people. But most of the people that you meet in life are going to be the 90% who don't want anything to change. Even when things are bad. I guess there's probably like flashpoints in history where things get so bad in the status quo that it like, massive widespread calls for change come around. I'm talking about like, the in-between times and the middle of the bell curve. So the march of history finds many and defeats all. So good luck not getting caught.